Good evening. This is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United in Peace, Inc. I'm also the host of the Bradley Report. There's a lot of things that's been happening since last week, and it's happening today. I want you all to know that this show is made possible by the woman that helped fix or find the subjects I need to speak on. She's the director and the producer of this show, and she's none other than my wife. And she's the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., Terry Marsh Bradley. And I couldn't make things happen today without the help of Brother Omari. So with that, let me say to God be the glory. Let's start with this story. Let's go to work, Omari.
If you pick up that gun and you fire that gun, anyone that get harmed from you firing that gun, that's an innocent bystander. We asking the community, ostracize them, push them out, don't let them hide anywhere, don't support them, and let law enforcement do their job.
The code is this. If you pick up that gun to solve your problem, I'm not endorsing violence. I'm saying you're violating the code if you discharge that weapon and innocent people get shot or killed, especially a child or an elderly person. And the community must uphold that code.
He got his shoe shined.
The reason that it worked in the 90s, because everyone was a part of it. Kids, women, elderly, was off limits.
You didn't touch him.
Didn't touch them.
By ostracizing from the community, pushing you out of the community, not supporting you in the community, or protecting you in the community, so that law enforcement can do their job by apprehending you. And the Cook County State's Attorney can do her job by making sure that you get a fair prosecution. This is so that there's no retaliation in the community because you discharge or you fire that weapon that you're intended or intended to harm.
We all got to come together. Those of you, my name is Wallace Gator Bradley. I'm the urban translator, and I'm the president of United Peace, Inc. We all got to come together to let it be known that Black lives matter everywhere. Regardless if the police shoot somebody that's black, it means twice as much to our community when someone black is shooting someone black.
With at least 8 children under the age of 10 shot in the city in just 2 weeks, some are asking if that code still carries any weight.
This is something that we got to do.
Gator catches up with some friends on Calumet.
That 1-year-old that got killed.
His conversations of late have focused on kids getting shot. He says the rule still applies.
We as men got to put it down and say, that still exists and never left.
We all got a responsibility.
We all got a responsibility, man.
But it never left.
I'm putting a call out to all the brothers. You know what we do. Put the word on the street that this is no longer tolerated. Me and Holmes work together and we know how it works. We've been able to help individuals turn themselves in of the community, kick them out for law enforcement to come and arrest them. Now is the time. Just like it was the video from Miss Frazier that let everybody know about the awakening of George Floyd. Somebody got a video, or we need to use our videos to stop this senseless violence.
And I believe that vengeance belongs to the Lord. And with that, I want to say, to God be the glory. And that's my story.
You know, I know you've been noticing every week I've been playing that because I want to keep it in everyone's mind that senseless violence happening in our community, whether there's a police officer that killed an African American, and especially when it's an African American that's killing another African American. The Black Lives Matter movement is what I call it. And there's a Black Lives Matter. But the Black Lives Matter movement is against all violence, especially violence that's happening to African Americans, Hispanics. And that code is for everyone to know, and for African Americans and Hispanics to share that in their community, that anybody that grab that gun and fire that gun, there's consequences to his actions. If an innocent bystander, and that's not to say he got a right to shoot his target, but if an innocent bystander, and it's a woman, it's a child, it's an elderly person, and it can be an innocent man, they get shot, we in the African American community and the Hispanic community got to ostracize. What that mean, Gator? I'm glad you asked. We got to push him out the community and let law enforcement do their job to apprehend them, and let Kim Foxx do her job to give him a fair prosecution, and let the courts do what they're supposed to do by giving them a fair trial. This ain't no new snitch program. It's a public safety program. You know, voting is very important. Early voting has happened. Started October 1st. And you all know that I vote early. And I'm asking y'all to vote early. Okay? I'm asking you to vote straight Democrat because I'm a Democrat. And I'm not apologizing for my bias. I'm asking you to make sure if you're in Cook County to re-elect Kim Foxx. Re-elect Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. I'm also asking you, if you're in Cook County, we got to keep good judges on the bench. I'm asking you to vote yes when you get the number 201 to retain Illinois Appellate Court Judge Ori Paczynski. We got to keep good judges on the bench. Okay? So, I know a lot of y'all saw that debate, that vice presidential debate. But I got something I want to share with you, because I walk it like I talk it. Let me show you how we vote. Let's go to work, man.
people divided cannot withstand this election. We need to come united. Voting matters.
Yeah, this is James Gibson, y'all. I'm coming out here for the first time in 30 years. I've been giving all my rights back to vote. I've been since giving my certificate of innocence. Kim Foxx came out and gave me an apology, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out here for early voting, man, you know, and this is a very important election. If you want to change what's going on, you got to vote. It's just like if you pray, don't worry. If you worry, don't pray. There's power in numbers, and we out here today to vote, man. And with that, man, y'all stay tuned. This is James Gibson. The first case in the country where they ever ruled that African American has been tortured, collaborated, and proved since the abolition of slavery. And with that, y'all come out and vote.
This is the only election that I ever saw that was clear cut. It's either you're for one or you're for the other. There's no middle ground, there's no gray area. There's no trying to figure out if one is slightly better than the other. You're either for one policy and against the other. So the thing is, when you come and vote, it's clear cut. So it shouldn't be no absentee votes. It shouldn't be nobody not voting, because what you stand for, what you believe in, is on both sides. It's either you're against one and for the other, so come out and vote.
It's time to get out there and vote. It's easy, it's quick, it's safe. They got every measure in place so you do not catch the COVID. So get out there and vote in person. Let's vote. Let's get it done.
Go vote. Please go vote. Everybody, please, everybody in the United States, please go vote. Don't choke, but vote.
And guess what, America? It's going to be my vote that counts.
This is Wallace Gator Bradley, the urban translator, the registered voter, the host of the Bradley Report. Today is a very important day, especially after watching that debate between President Trump and Joe Biden. I didn't waste no time to get out here and stand in line so I can early vote. I want to say you must vote or you can't argue. If you don't vote, you got a right to speak, but I ain't got a right to listen to you. Voting is very important. This election, I'm asking everybody to vote straight blue, straight Democrat. Retain everybody but Tuna. Especially retain Ori Paczynski, Illinois appellate court judge. And hey, make sure you vote to re-elect Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. Make sure that you vote and re-elect Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. And with that, I want to say, to God be the glory. That's Gator's story. Hey, Jerry, you want to tell the brother something? My man, that's what I'm talking about. That's my vote partner. Hey, bring somebody down like I did. Come on over here, man. Let them see who I brought down. Bring somebody down like I did to come vote. That way, you can vote twice. He's voting for himself. I'm voting for me. And we cousins, first cousins, is a family affair. You know, it's mandatory that we get people out to vote. We can go and watch football games and basketball games together and go stepping, and we always call our friends, hey, don't meet me there, beat me there. I want to say I appreciate club stepping. and the Steppen family of 95.1 FM radio. I walk it like I talk it. I go spend my money with a black radio station to get the message out to tell people, come out and vote. The people that come to me and say, Gator, we want you to help us. Okay. I don't know what your people may telling you. But I'm going to help you by making sure that I get out people to vote, especially African Americans. So 95.1 FM, Club Steppen Radio, and President Tracy Bell and your staff, I want to say hooray, hooray, hooray. So we moving on. I want to show you Miss Ori Paczynski. She's the one that I'm asking you to vote for. And right here, that's it. No, go back. Go back one. Nope, right there, right there. This is Ori Paczynski. I've been knowing her for about 40 years. She's a good woman to be on the bench. She's been on the bench for a while. And we need to retain her. We need to go in there after you vote for Biden and Kamala and the rest of the Democratic ticket. And when you get down to the judges, and you're going to see a number, 201. When you get to 201, vote yes. When you get to 201, vote yes. And your vote will help keep a good judge on the bench. And then I got something else to show you. Hit that next picture right there with me and the wife. There you go. To all my friends, I want to thank you all from all the 75 groups that have sent congratulations to me and my wife, Terry. Been together 37 years. We renewed our vows Sunday, last Sunday, October the 4th. And Ori Paczynski was the one that came there to make it right. When Terry did her vows, when they say whatever they say, the song said it all for her, which was Stay a While With Me. So all you steppers, y'all know about that, said stay a while with me. When it came to me and said, Gator, do you take this woman, yada, yada, whoop? My response was the song Where Love Has Joined Together. Justice Ori Paczynski officiated that. And we did it in Brownsville, at Norman's Bistro, right there on 43rd and Ellis. That is so powerful and so right. During a global pandemic, we all had time to think about the people that we love, because there's so much that's happening. And I want to say to everyone, if you got someone that you love, let them know that you love them. If you got a neighbor, wave to them and say, how do you do? Because that neighbor might have to come to your door to get a cup of sugar, or you may have to go to their door to get a bowl of rice. And with that, I want to say love makes the world go round. Now let's get back on this news. I know y'all heard about the great debate between the vice presidents. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Hey, y'all saw it, I saw it. That sister gave that man a look like, hey, I'm speaking. Boy, when I saw that, I thought about my mother. I thought about Terry. I even thought about my daughter, Africa. When they speaking, they got something to say after they have heard what you had to say. Don't interrupt them. She beat them hands down. Because as you know, as the vice president, Pence, he was in charge of this commission that's dealing with the global pandemic. He didn't believe wearing no mask. The president didn't believe wearing no mask. Then the president caught corona, the COVID-19. Now they call him the super spreader in chief, the contagious chief. So he's spreading germs everywhere he go. And that was the reason that during the vice president debate, the only one that's going to happen, Senator Harris asked and demanded that they not be 6 feet apart. She said 12 feet. Somebody told me it might have been an extra foot in there, maybe 13. But I heard 12 feet apart with a plexiglass separating both of them. Because she know, like we all know, the vice president was close enough to the president that he may be contagious. So many in the president's cabinet. The military chief, what they call it, where all the generals and all of them come together. They tested positive. They quarantined. So all our generals is on quarantine. Senators, they came around that man in quarantine. His spokesman, the one to do the briefing, that says the president did everything for the safety of Americans, knowing full well that the president knew about COVID and how dangerous it was, and didn't inform Americans where they could have prepared and lives would have been saved and less people would have got sick. She told them that lie and fed that lie. Then she get tested positive. Social media, from what I read, from what I saw on social media, even a 15-year-old daughter did something in social media to tell the president, pretty much, I'm just paraphrasing, President, I don't like you. You lied to the people. Had a mother lying to the people. Now she's sitting there like, mama, I'm just paraphrasing. This is what I would be saying if I was a daughter. Mom, I know you got to get a check to feed us. But you can't lie when this man has given you a germ, a virus that can possibly take your life. Same president that's in the courts trying to, in the courts, all the way up to the Supreme Court. That's why he want that lady to be appointed the judge to the Supreme Court so they can get rid of the Obamacare that's providing insurance for everybody that need insurance, especially during this global pandemic. You got to vote. You got to vote him out of there. And you got to vote so strong across America. Well, he can't say he's going to stay in the office. Joe Biden has to come across that line, in my opinion, with more than 207. He need to come across that with us being voters. He need to come across that line with 285 electoral votes. 300 if it's possible. The whole world. Putin, Trump's buddy and sponsor, has been in quarantine since March. Ain't nobody come around him. He know it ain't no joke. The whole White House now has to be fumigated. When that man get out the hospital, after they first gave him some oxygen at the White House for him to get on the Air Force One or whatever, that Marine One, to get to the hospital, he come back 3 days later back to the White House, go up on the balcony, take his mask off, could barely breathe. He was still contagious. And went into the White House. And all kinds of people started getting sick. They won't give us how many people may have got sick. That's the servants in there, whose job is, regardless of who the president is, they're always there to provide the services for whomever reside at that house because of the voters. But let's see what the vice president had to say during the vice presidential debate.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic challenger Kamala Harris faced off in their first and only debate of the election season on Wednesday. Separated by plexiglass shields, the candidates clashed primarily over the coronavirus outbreak, which has infected millions of Americans, now including President Trump himself and a growing cluster of his aides and allies.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Pence was grilled about the White House event last month, announcing Trump's latest Supreme Court nomination, where masks were mostly absent, and a number of attendees have now tested positive for COVID-19. He pointed to the event being held outdoors and claimed it was advised by scientists, stating that it was up to Americans to make choices in the best interest of their own health.
We're about freedom and respecting the freedom of the American people.
But Harris fired right back, noting that the Trump administration has played down the threat of the pandemic since it began.
You respect the American people when you tell them the truth.
And when asked about a potential vaccine, Harris said she would not trust Trump, who has previously promoted scientifically unproven treatments.
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Pence quickly retorted, accusing Harris of undermining public confidence.
So the fact that you continue to undermine public confidence in a vaccine, if the vaccine emerges during the Trump administration, I think is unconscionable. And Senator, I just ask you, stop playing politics with people's lives.
The evening carried extra weight given the presidential candidate's age. Either Trump, who is 74, or Biden, who is 77, would be the oldest president in U.S. history, an issue highlighted by Trump's recent COVID-19 diagnosis. Both Pence and Harris are widely seen as future presidential candidates, whatever the outcome of November's contest.
Now you see.
Essentially, the key.
Hold on, right there. Now you see how Pence and Trump's them people violate all the rules that's dealing with making sure that people stay healthy. The rules of that debate was that everyone was to have a mask on in there except for 3 people. The moderator, Senator Harris, and Vice President Pence. At the presidential debate, the president's family, his whole entourage, didn't have on masks. They violated that rule there. So for his wife to get up on the stage with him, to stand with him, was showing the world, especially voters, they do not care about your well-being. They still trying to act like this global pandemic is a joke. It's over 211,000 people in America that have died because of this virus. Over 7 million Americans have lives, health-wise, they have had the virus. More than any other industrial nation in the world. Pence knew and the president knew. Back in February. Take my word for it, it's been all over. The president was even recorded and knew he was being recorded when he said how deadly this virus was. He said it was more deadlier than the flu. Then when he catch it, he come back and say it's nothing but like the flu. Then he says, hey, I think I might be immune. We can't get the same medical attention that he got. I don't even think Pence gonna get the same medical attention that the president got. And they gave him so many different mixtures of cocktails. If he was on the street, people might have thought it was lean because there are so many side effects to what he's taking. Psychosis and everything. They talking about the 25th Amendment. It says that if the president is incapacitated, he need to give up that seat, turn everything over to the vice president. After that debate, that vice presidential debate, the president, the vice president, Pence, was going to go to Indiana so that he could vote early. His plane got detoured. Told him to rush back to the White House. Not to Washington, D.C., rush back to the White House in Washington, D.C., which is a hotbed now of germs. So we don't know if he was tested positive and had to rush back there to try to get in there to try to make sure that he get the same thing? I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm an American. A lot of us don't know. I'm just going by what I see. See if he can get the same type of cocktails that he was getting. It's up to us, America. America was number one in the world. Now people around the world look to China and Russia, then to America, as long as Trump is the president. His whole inner circle tested positive. And for the man to say, Trump, to say that this is something from God that he got, I'm inclined to believe that. There's a scripture somewhere in the Bible where Moses went and told Pharaoh, hey man, I keep telling you, these are the things that God keeps sending me to tell you. If you don't, this won't happen. And he left, hey, the last call, last time I'm going to tell you. He going to make it where you going to hear it and feel it. Because you going to make that decision. I ain't preaching, but I know it's in that book. Vote. Don't choke. Vote blue. Straight Democrat, especially in Cook County. Re-elect Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx and vote yes when you get to 201. Vote yes and retain Illinois Appellate Court Justice Aurelia Paczynski, because we got to keep good judges on the bench. You know, I want to get to another topic before I go back on this thing. I want to show you something here. Hey, Brother Mari. Hey, could you hit the overhead for me? Hit the overhead right quick. Right, thanks, man. Hey, this is a march for justice. Okay, you see the governor, you see the lieutenant governor, you see a bunch of other people. There's a march. There's out in the suburbs of Victory Church. I did it. Hashtag George Floyd. Okay, hit me back. Okay. This march is where the governor, the lieutenant governor, and others are trying to follow the protest with policy. Governor J.B. Pritzker proposed ending cash bail, licensing police officers, and updating sentencing laws as part of his 7-step plan to reform and modernize the state's criminal justice system. The Democratic governor's 7 guiding principles also include prohibiting no-knock warrants, shortening prison sentences through increased credit for time served and rehabilitation opportunities, and only detaining defendants who are a threat to public safety. Okay? And creating a state that works for everyone. At the state level alone, we spend billions of dollars a year keeping too many people in an overcrowded prison system that has proven itself too expensive, too punitive, and woefully ineffective at keeping Illinois families safe. Pritzker said in a statement, as we move forward with the General Assembly to pass comprehensive criminal justice reform, it is my hope that the nation will look at Illinois as a leader in true equity and justice for generations to come. the proposed principles built on an agenda outlined by Pritzker and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton earlier this year under the administration's Justice, Equity, and Opportunity Initiative, which looks at the criminal sentencing, education, poverty, and the link among the three. Stratton said the proposed principles will guide us on a path of repairing the historic harm caused by our justice system, especially in black and brown communities. Sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds good. But understand this. A man's name is only as good as his word. I can say that about him because I support him. I support the initiative. But every time I'm seeing the word equity, I think about the marijuana piece, the cannabis law. That our legislators voted on, knowing that it wasn't fair. Everybody was caught up on this diversification or diversity, whatever the word is, and equity. And the only ones that getting the money from the cannabis law is white men. A year ain't passed, and they done sold close to $500 million in cannabis and marijuana and reefer. So I can break it down to you, but on all levels. Reefer for the old guys and girls like me. Marijuana for those that came behind us. And cannabis for those that came behind them, the millennials. So I'm saying, people, vote, come out and vote, and hold them accountable. I don't care if they're a Democrat or Republican. Hold them accountable. If Trump can't get away, the governor shouldn't be able to get away. If they're saying Trump is responsible because of what he didn't inform the people about dealing with this virus, the governor is responsible by virtue of the fact that he refused to enforce the Nursing Home Care Act. And that's why you're seeing the neglect and the abuse, inclusive of the death from those that's dying in the nursing homes from the COVID-19, the virus. There's a law in Illinois that say if nursing homes are not in compliance, the state's attorneys from all the counties in Illinois and the attorney general need to go in there, deal with the receivership, have them nursing homes get rid of those administrations that's in there, that's violating, because they under all kind of regulations by the state and they're breaking the law. When you look at the nursing home problem in Illinois and how many deaths and how many people have the virus because of the wrongful things that's happening in the nursing homes? They're in all type of violations. The federal government, I think in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, raided some nursing homes because 82 people died in one of them. And the governor had the responsibility as the governor to either act or order his appointed director of the Illinois Department of Public Health to immediately implement the Nursing Home Care Act, Section 8. And don't let him get away because you can see him in a line with a lot of black people. He's talking good black stuff. What he going to implement and all that, and it's good stuff if he implement it. But he shouldn't skirt his responsibility. Because what the nursing home's doing, you think I'm lying? Google nursing home deaths and residents in the nursing homes that have that virus. Every day we getting an update. How many people have the virus? How many people have died? But ask the question, how many of them are in the nursing homes? How many of the deaths are from nursing homes? Because the governor won't and hasn't. And while we on the topic, he's in quarantine. How about that? He's in quarantine because of the virus, knowing how dangerous the virus is. And yet you let the nursing homes in Illinois get away with what they're doing? And you got the right by law. That is a law that was on the books when you got in office. And you're aware of it. I read an article in the Tribune. I talked about the article last week and the week before. Okay, ain't like you don't know. So don't keep saying we can't forgive Trump. And I ain't no Trump fan. I voted early for Biden. I'm true blue. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. President knew didn't do nothing. He's wrong. He got that weight. And he said that it was God that gave him the virus. Who am I to argue with him? I know he got it. And everyone that was doing wrong, that was lying around him about it, they got it. And I will be remiss if I say because I supported you, I'm going to say you shouldn't do your duty because you was elected to be about the concerns and the well-being of the people of Illinois. And I'll vote for you again. And then again, I don't know. But I'm a Democrat. And Governor, you got to do your job. So all this initiative, it's a wonderful thing. And that's what you're supposed to be about. Do it. And while you're saying you're about to do it, enforce the law that's already on the books to save lives. Check them nursing homes. They are for-profit companies. And in that Tribune article, it showed where you was making orders that was benefiting them and not benefiting the residents in the nursing homes. I'm just a guy to support you. That ain't talking behind your back. And everybody else read that Tribune article. And for the black legislators, y'all need to be saying something. Y'all need to be saying something. But that's my little soapbox. Let's get to the next thing. Let's talk about this guy in Kenosha. Okay, y'all heard how this militia group was trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Is all over the news. Here's a young guy that was a part of militia group. He went to Kenosha. Because the guy got shot in the back. Sometimes. Protests. He come to the town with other guys that had their guns that they now say that they are terrorists. He shot 3 people. He killed 2. Y'all saw the tape where he walked past the police. Next thing you know, he back at home in Illinois. So they had an extradition. They fighting extradition for this guy to go back to Minnesota to stand trial. But I'm of the opinion that their fight is almost over. At the next court hearing, he's going to be extradited back to Wisconsin. I'm saying that to say because everything that I'm saying is leading back to Trump and the Republicans that support Trump. During the presidential debate, they asked him to say that he's against the white supremacists and those violent militias or whatever you want to call them. He refused to do it. So he said, tell me who? Tell me what? So they said the Proud Boys. So instead of saying that he was against them, he was against violent individuals carrying guns and shooting. He told them to stand down and stand by. And they took that as a rallying cry to tell them to lock it low. He in support of that young guy in Kenosha that killed them 2 people and shot 1. As a matter of fact, he was shown to have been at one of Trump's rallies on the front row. Here it is in the news now, today. It's all on the news last night. The same attitude of the same type of groups. Those guys in Michigan took over the state house with their guns while the legislators were in there. Then come to find out that they're a group that was plotting to kidnap the governor And President Trump said, liberate Michigan. And he talking law and order? Well, law enforcement went and arrested them. Quick. Ain't them no militia, they called them urban terrorists. I want you to hear me. They said urban terrorists. Young African Americans that's in these different street gangs that you call yourself cliques. When they come in white folks and they name them urban terrorists, man, they coming at you next. Y'all better stop all that senseless violence. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you. When law and order come and grab Trump and his crew, law and order is going to grab you. If you involve in senseless shootings and killings, especially of anyone, especially collateral damage, where a child, a woman, an elder, or a man gets shot and he died. And you know this system laid the law and order thick on us. Pay attention. This ain't Gator talking about the sky falling. This happening right before your eyes. God is showing you. Even Trump said him getting the virus, it came from God. Gator didn't say God gave him the virus. He said, must be a miracle. God gave it to me. They running from him. His number one man, the senator out of Kentucky. They asked him, man, you going to the White House? He said, man, I ain't been in the White House since August 6th. I ain't trying to go there. I told everybody wear their mask. I was wearing mine. So everybody had a mask. They got what the hand called for. You heard the woman say on the video that you saw up there. She went in there to vote. Voting early. If you're in Chicago or you're from anywhere in Cook County, you can get to 191 or 191 North Clark Street on a corner of Clark and Lake. Go in there and vote. Get your mask on. Wash your hands. Stay prayed up. And go in there and vote. And I want to say this. As I close, I want to say, to God be the glory. I want to say, vote, don't choke. I want to say, Senator Kamala Harris, you're a strong woman. And I want to say, all women, regardless of your race, your creed, your party, vote blue. I want to say, men, regardless of your race, creed, or party, vote blue. Vote blue. And if you're in Cook County, please re-elect Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, and please keep a good judge on the bench. Vote yes when you get to 201. Vote yes to retain Illinois Appellate Court Ori Baczynski. I want to say to God be the glory. That's my story. I walk it like I talk it because I voted early. Thank you.